Hello, class. I wanted to talk to. I'm sorry for being out of touch. So far, so good with your assignments. I got a little sick, so I'm a bit behind, but today I'm grading all of your assignments, and I wanted to update you on several changes. First of all, attendance policy. I'll be entering attendance on Monday of every week. As long as you have done something during the week that will count towards your attendance. However, you remember that in terms of late work, I'm being lenient this first week because I know some of you don't have the book yet. Loans were not dispersed, I think, until today, the 28th, for some people. But I expect all back work for Module 1 to be in by next Sunday and start working on your Module 2 work now. You really want to keep up, especially with those discussions, because people don't go back and comment again on the discussions. And so in order for you to be current on the discussions, you need to get the ball rolling on that early. So don't wait until Friday. The discussion is one of the easiest parts. There was a discrepancy between the overview and the instructions that were on the discussion threads themselves in terms of word count of initial post, how many responses to peers' posts were required, and by when. And that was because the person who originally created the course didn't have as many paragraph assignments and required a higher word count for those discussion threads. So I got in touch with the person who has modified. The course has been through several people who have created and modified it. And she said, yes, you're right, there's a discrepancy. Go with 100 per word, 100 per initial post, word count, and 50 word responses. 2. So you need to respond to 2 of your peers in 50 words or more. Now this is at least 100 words. Please feel free to go beyond that. Perhaps not an entire novel, but feel free to go beyond that. 100 words is not a lot of words. Yes, you will be graded down if you only write a sentence for your initial post or for your replies. You must write at least 100 words for your initial post in the discussion threads and 50 words for your replies. Otherwise, you will be graded down. Okay? Those of you who are waiting until they got the book to do the second discussion thread, and your reading journal, and description paragraph, again, once you have the book, I will accept that without penalty next Sunday, but no excuses after the first week. You should all have your loans dispersed and have the book by now. And those who still don't have it, the other instructor for the other half of this course module is going to be sending me PDFs. Otherwise, I will go and scan it myself for last week and this week. But you should buy it by today. As far as I know, all loans are dispersed by today. Okay, so I wanted to take a look at the Module 2 overview. Okay. You're doing comparison and contrast. Word choice and sentence variety. Okay, let's talk about the My Writing Lab exercises, because one student who worked ahead pointed out that there was something confusing in exercise 4.3, varying sentence structure. Okay. So in the Apply 4.3 varying sentence structure, I went and took a look at it. It's actually not very clear. It says that these little gray boxes of circled words will pop up, and then you need to click on the check, and then you need to follow the instructions, whether it's reorder the sentence or put together a fragment with an independent clause, a dependent clause with an independent clause, etc. Whatever the instructions are, you need to follow it, and you need to do all of them. There are 10 of them, because otherwise, if you just do one of them, you'll see what happens. If you do one of them and hit score, you've already scored the activity, and then you see you have 1 correct and 9 wrong. Right? So you need to hover over all of these and find all these points are lost because you didn't hover over all of them. Right? So don't score it until you completely finished it. That's a little bit hard because it doesn't actually tell you very clearly the directions on that. How many there are that you need to... It's not entirely clear. So if you just do 1 here, and then you hit score, you're going to get 1 point out of 10. And it will show you all the ones that you got wrong. Okay? That was maybe, for those who haven't done it yet, that was maybe cheating a bit, you saw some there, how to redo it, but that's okay. Some of these are hard, and I know there are a lot, so I don't mind helping you out a little bit there. But you do need to do all of those. Yes. And so you have to hover over all of the little boxes and press the check mark and follow the instructions for how you need to rewrite, reorder, or link the sentence before you hit score for that one. I think the rest of the My Writing Lab exercises are pretty straightforward. Okay, so other people asked me about, let me think what everybody has asked about. I've been asked about submitting things to the tutoring lab. I don't want you to go to work too far ahead in terms of your final paper or papers. And the reason for that is I'm going to be writing and giving you examples. I think it's hard for some people to just read an outline and understand what they're supposed to do. So I'm going to actually make a video showing you how to use a library database for your research argument and also give you an example of a simple argument based on points and counterpoints, which will help you as a template when you're writing. Okay? Your final paper is what you submit, or your rough draft of your final paper is what you submit after you have done your rough draft. Okay? So I'll work on that this week for both the description paper and the argument essay. I will definitely make a video like this one showing you how to use the library database and point and counterpoint within Points of View Reference Center. Okay. So, you're going to be reading A New Game Plan by Lisa Bennett on page 602 of Along These Lines. You need to include 2 quotes within your reading journal to back up your dominant impression, which is your opinion of what you read, right? It's an informal analysis in MLA format. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And your discussion topic, okay. Again, I fixed this so it says 100 words. Will also be responsible for responding to at least 2 of your classmates for a total of 200 words minimum. I fixed all of the instructions and all of the threads themselves to reflect this. Okay. Remember, you need to have that in by Friday, your initial post, and your responses to your classmates should need to be in by Sunday. All the rest of your work needs to be in by Friday, which is why I say for those that are behind, and if you want more time so you don't just have to knock out Module 1's, Week 1's work on Week 2, and then go back and do Week 1 for those of you who just got the book. Okay? For everyone else, thank you for keeping up. I will be grading your submissions today and tomorrow. Okay. If you have any questions about what you read or comparison and contrast, compare and contrast, comparison and contrast, please don't hesitate to email me. I'm just going to show you guys a couple of things really quick and get out of Module 2. I think Module 2 is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so let's go to syllabus and course documents. Alright, so these are the major essays. Description. Okay. Okay. This is going to be going through the module when these are due, alright? Final draft is only 500 to 600 words, which is no more than 3 pages double-spaced. It's very short, okay? Again, writing your rough draft of this will happen as you go along. Starts out with paragraph 1, introduction, body paragraph, describe the scene, body paragraph 2, describe the mood, and conclusion. Okay? And the topic is visit a website from a local or national newspaper and find a photograph of an event involving 2 or more individuals. Describe where the people are, what the event is, what the people are doing, what their facial expression suggests, and anything else you might find unique about the setting. Okay? You can use anything for this. I mean, I would think about President Trump's recent meeting with Angela Merkel, the German Chancellor, would be an interesting one for this, right? So would his meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister. It could be anything. It could be anything that you find on the web. But it's specifically about description, and you're going to be following this rubric here, okay? Give an overview, general circumstances, background information. You might need to conduct some research about the photograph to find out what the background information is, then describe the scene in detail. What's the mood, and what does it evoke in you or in the viewer? And then conclusion, in which you describe why you chose this picture and what you want them to reflect on. And it's a summary of your general, all your supporting evidence, your thesis statement about what this picture means, as well as advice for future action in the conclusion there, okay? It's not too difficult. Again, it's very short. I will provide you with an example of this, okay? Before you do it. And I'll try to get those examples to you as soon as possible. And I'll put them in Microsoft Word Track Changes so I can point out to you what I was doing while writing them, okay? Okay, the research essay is going to be a little bit more involving because you need to learn, this is the grading rubric, you need to learn how to do research and put it together. Okay, so this is a documented argument essay. Okay, so you can read through this. Okay. You will need to have an overview, point article, and counterpoint article. You start out with your introduction, your body paragraph. Your second body paragraph is called the counterpoint. I would actually have another paragraph after that called refutation of counterpoint. This is how generally it's a 5-paragraph essay. I'll leave it up to you. If you want to be a bit more challenging, you can do the refutation to counterpoint. So basically, you look at both sides of an argument, you introduce the general context surrounding the issue in a neutral fashion, you state the point, what you're arguing with your thesis statement, and then you have supporting facts, data, statistics, case studies, etc. The counterpoint, what is the argument from the other side, and then if you want to refute that in another paragraph, you would have your argument against their argument. And that's really how you would do a proper documented, short 5-paragraph documented argument essay. This is not requiring refutations. And in the conclusion, you summarize your points, your supporting evidence. You rephrase and restate your thesis. And if you want, you can also, again, give advice for going forward in terms of this issue. Okay. How you write this, generally in an argument essay, you need to have the thesis within your introduction, and then you go into it in the body paragraph. So actually I might change this somewhat, because I think that this is a mix of an exploratory and an argument essay.